Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Here today to preview Inter versus Juve, the Derby d'Italia, one of the biggest games of the season, one of the games I look forward to, but also makes me the most nervous because I really hate Juventus. But so today we'll keep it professional. We've got a few other things to discuss as well, which actually the first thing I want to discuss, let's get it out of the way, guys. After the qualification into the next round of the Champions League, into the quarterfinal, first time in 12 years, which sounds crazy being Inter fans that we're saying that, but that's the truth, unfortunately, of our club. But who do you want? Who do we want in the next round of the Champions League? I know lots of ideas. People have different opinions. Want the big boys. Some people want, the easiest fish. I'm definitely in the easy fish category. I'm fed up of every year facing the big teams. We've faced enough big teams, guys, over the years. We've had groups with Real Madrid, Barcelona, so many years, Bayern Munich this year. Then last year in the knockouts, we had Liverpool. Like, if you want to have one of those fairy tale runs to the end, like, how Spurs did the other few years ago, Ajax did, like, you need a bit of luck in your draws. And for that reason, and here we have 538, which is a stats company that usually does these percentages and probabilities about, football and other sports as well. According to them, the favorite to win the Champions League is Manchester City. No surprise. Although, in my personal opinion, if you look at this ranking, I agree with it mostly. I'll maybe just because of Man City's form this season, and I don't like them as much without Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling. Like, I feel like they've lost a bit of that pace in behind that they used to have as well. So I'd put Bayern Munich just there, and we faced. I definitely want Bayern Munich or Man City. Those two are my no-go zones for sure. And with Bayern Munich, we both this season. Real Madrid is another no-go. As I said, we faced them enough times. Twice we faced them. Once under Conte, once with Inzaghi last year. Both times we looked actually quite good against them, but they have our number somehow. They always beat us. But you guys maybe disagree with me. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy with any of these five: Napoli, Benfica, Chelsea, and Milan. Well, I did these four counted us as well. After the last few days I've been saying I want Milan, I want the cousins, I want the derby, I want the Milan derby in the Champions League. I want revenge for what happened to us all those years ago against them when they went through. Guys, they went through with 2 draws. That ridiculous away rule that now is gone finally. They drew at home and then drew away but scored a goal, which that away goal took him through. I'm still reeling. I'm still fuming about that. So we need revenge for that. But at the same time, over the last few days, Beppe Bergomi was talking about it, the Inter legend, about how a derby in the Champions League in the quarterfinal stage or knockout stage, it's gonna take out a lot of energies, like emotional energies. Another derby. We've got Juve now in the league, but we also have Juve in the Coppa Italia. All these local derbies. Not only like physical energy they take out, but also emotional energy, nervous energy. There can be like a big dump of that, and the pressure building also could play negatively. But I think I still take Milan, but I do understand Bergomi's point on that. My favorite team, to be honest, though, is Chelsea. I do really want Chelsea. I think they're not that good this year. They're mid-table in the Premier League. They're struggling to score goals. Graham Potter, the manager, isn't doing too great, and obviously the Lukaku storyline. I mean, Lukaku going back, is he going to kiss the badge if he scores against them? All that kind of stuff. It's very interesting for sure. And I think that would be a good matchup for us as well. It wouldn't be as easy because they're coming back into form. Kante is coming back as well. Big injury for them. That was for most of the season. So. But there's no easy games now. None of them. Benfica as well. As I said, I wouldn't mind them. They're definitely slightly better than Porto, I would say. More energetic, more attacking prowess than Porto. So I think they would definitely be a tricky team, but I'll take them. Napoli as well. I mean, people would point to the fact that we beat Napoli in, you know, back in January, where we were the first team this season to beat them after Liverpool beat them in the Champions League. But you know, this is a different Napoli now. We caught them at probably the best time possible, just after the international break. The thing is with Inter, like, you shouldn't look at these games in just as singular games. You have to think about them in the spectrum. Like you saw against Porto, guys, we had Bastoni going out injured, which obviously we're going to talk about for team news for Juventus. You know, Di Marco looked finished. You know, Darmian was playing up with cramp. Like at this stage of the season now, March, April, this is when things, you know, the big games start to come in. These are the crucial parts of the season. And we saw it last year, guys. Remember, second leg against Liverpool, if you guys remember, who got injured? Brozovic got injured in that second leg against Liverpool. De Vrij, I think, if I remember correctly, got injured in that game. That game away at Liverpool drained us and was, you know, it did not help us afterwards in the league, which is why actually back then, if you guys followed me on this channel, I wanted to actually Inzaghi to rotate and just take the L on that game, but we actually went out, almost went to extra time, even though people kind of misconstrued that Liverpool away game. Even though we did win at Anfield and did well, Liverpool was smashing us. They were unlucky not to win. They had the post, the crossbar, Vidal saved one on the line. At home we were much better. And now, you know, the Coppa Italia, the fixture list is going to get really, really busy. This Coppa, I don't still understand why those Coppa Italia games are, you know, two-legged fixtures. Two big games against Juventus are not something that you need this late into the season. You can see here the fixture list now, you know, Juve, then Fiorentina, then Juve again in the Coppa. Then it gets slightly easier, or with Inter probably gets slightly harder when you face the smaller teams. Juve again and Lazio, and then somewhere in between of these, you know, in April there is going to be the Champions League game. So don't look at it in a singular way. Look at it, you know, in the context of the whole fixtures. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments down below, who is your team that you want in the Champions League. Interested to hear. The next topic I want to cover before Juve is Inzaghi. If you guys didn't see his interview after the Porto game, if I had a few shots for sure, Inzaghi, no soft limone here. This was, you know, limoncello and some vodka and some rum mixed in and some, you know, absinthe. This is probably the feistiest, not in the way that he delivered it, but just the words that he said after the Porto game. The thing is, this is, you know, what is unsure at the moment is who his words were aimed at. So he responded to his critics saying that, you know, they asked him, this qualification, is this a bit of a revenge on all the pressure that you've had recently? And he says, no, I don't have a desire for revenge. I said yesterday that it wasn't the right time to talk about these things, and I still think that now. I just know the path that I've been on to take Inter on, and now this is the part. In the last 12 years, Inter have won one Scudetto, which then caused some financial problems to the team. True, kind of true, but also not fully true. I mean, COVID, it wasn't just a Scudetto. Yes, Inter probably spent more than Suning could afford, but then Suning, or no one could have predicted the COVID pandemic. Conte's investment, salary, everything did add up. So a little bit of truth to what he's saying. And then in the last 18 months, to back himself on that, we've won 3 trophies. The Coppa Italia once, the Supercoppa twice. I'll speak when I feel the time is right. I owe it to myself and my family. That's quite heavy, you know, including his family in that sense, alluding to something strong that he needs to say. And he's proud of this group of guys. I think in the actual interview he said men that he's managing. We've managed something historic, blah, blah, blah. We're enjoying this evening. Inter needed it. The fans needed it for sure. 18 months ago, I came in with the task of taking Inter back to the round of 16 in this competition, and he's done it twice. That's what they asked me for. We've done a good job. We won trophies. So yeah, he's and also reminding people we're second in the league table. People also forget that, you know. I do try to remind people at the moment as well on the channel. I know the performance is not good enough. 8 losses in the league is not good enough, but we still are somehow, well, depends on what happens with Juve and they're minus 15, but we're still second in the league. So yeah, what do you guys think? Who is he? To me, it's kind of, especially the fact that where he said, you know, I'll speak when the time is right. I owe it to myself and my family. Like, it sounds like almost a guy that knows that his time is going to be up in the summer. And maybe, you know, we've seen, we know him as the yes man, the corporate guy, especially, you know, compared to Conte. He's never spoken out against the ownership and the directors, whereas Conte was like a weekly thing. But to me, it's kind of sounds like he's going to speak about, you know, maybe Marotta or the ownership or the difficulties he's had over the time at Inter, maybe what he was promised and not delivered. But yeah, to me, once again, as I've been saying for a long time now this season, just, I don't know how it's going to happen, because I don't know how we can afford to fire him, because then we have to pay his clause, or like, you know, his, you know, to pay his release, you know, pay his salary off. But I just don't see like, these are the words of someone that seems like he's going to leave at the end of this summer. Maybe mutual consent, but we'll see. You guys let me know in the thoughts, your thoughts down below. Let's finish up with the Juve preview. Obviously, we know, as I said, Juve, it's good to see them down there. But my prediction is, quickly on the Juve situation, my prediction is that they will get the 15 points back. As much as I love to see Juve mudded and all that kind of stuff, I think the law and everything, you know, how they made the decision just seems a little bit, it's a bit shaky, it's a bit, you know, in the air. And I think by the sounds of it, what I'm reading recently, is that it looks like they might get that back. But they also have other ongoing investigations, which actually are probably more serious than this Plus Valenza case. But we'll see what happens. At the moment, it's still 738. If they get the points, they will be ahead of us on 53. So I'm going into this game thinking we're actually third. I've been thinking that for the whole season since Juve have got those points. I just add those 15 points again on Juve, because until that final decision has been made, I would just think like that. So we need to catch up with Juve in theory. We need to get to 53 and catch up with Juve. That's my mentality, and that should be the mentality of the Inter players as well, and also not treating them like a mid-table team, because, you know, we don't want this Inter team. We know what they're like against smaller teams. We need to treat them like a big team, so we actually perform. No predicted lineup. It's very early. It's Thursday, so I won't get enough time in this week to preview it later. And this is the predicted lineup. So Bastoni, as we said, is injured. Darmian hopefully has recovered. I think it's a bit early to tell. Let's see. Yeah, so it's only showing Bastoni as the injury right now. Hopefully Skriniar is back fit. Definitely would start him if he is fit. De Vrij, if Cherby has to step to the left, then yeah, De Vrij has to come in. Unless you move Skriniar to the center, like we played against Juve last year, if you guys remember. Away at Juve, we played with D'Ambrosio, Skriniar, and Bastoni. I like Skriniar in the middle of the three, actually. Apart from that, I think the team kind of picks itself. Gosens is still out injured, so it has to be Di Marco. Hopefully he's okay. He also looked quite tired against Porto. Mkhitaryan surely now, like, he got the full 90 again against Porto, so surely he needs to be rested. So I would definitely start Brozo, Barella and Hakan in this one. And definitely Lukaku and Martinez, because Dzeko, again, he just doesn't look in form again. I think he's the striker in Serie A with the longest goal drought at the moment out of the top teams. I think he hasn't scored in the Serie A since December. I saw some stat earlier, but yeah, he's really out of form. And Lukaku needs to be playing every 80-90 minutes to get back into the shape and form that we know. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be an entertaining game, guys. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be a nervous game, but I don't think it's going to be entertaining. Both teams coming off, you know, midweek European rounds. Juve just beat Freiburg. They probably didn't expend as much energy as us because they were already ahead, and, you know, Freiburg didn't really challenge them as much as Porto did to us. But they have one less day of rest. So both teams, I don't think, are going to be in peak shape. And they've had injury issues all year round, Juventus. So I expect quite a boring or a tactical drab affair, especially with Allegri, we know. And Inzaghi has to, like, you know, especially with our, you know, without Bastoni, Skriniar not being in full 100% peak condition, the team in general, I would opt for a slightly lower defensive line and try not to be so expansive, even though we are at home. So my prediction is a 1-1 draw. That's my prediction. I don't see us winning. It would be amazing to win, but I don't see us winning. Allegri, I think, is gonna make sure that Inter don't win, and that no one wins. That's what he's gonna make sure. I'm not sure what the news is with Di Maria. If Di Maria's in for Juve, that's a big plus for them. Chiesa's coming back from injury, scored today, so that's not good for us. But yeah, 1-1 for me. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I hope to react to something positive on Sunday night. And yeah, see you then, guys. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Inter.